As of now, I've chosen to actually take full control over my life. That is a hot tea. Definitely way more than I was expecting. But I wanted to talk to you because my name is Adam, and I want you to join me along the journey of my self-improvement. Now, I've been involved and heavily just captured by the world of self-improvement since I was around the age of 15. It's been a while, and I've definitely got a tricky relationship with it. Struggling to stay on top of working out regularly, reading more often, and just doing the actions that I want to be getting done. I would find myself dropping out because my mental health was deteriorating. I know, very ironic that the scene where I talk about it deteriorating, the sun comes through the window extremely brightly, but there you go. And typically the way it would work is that I would go for a few days doing really well, and then one day would come by. That one day would cause a massive ripple effect. Or it could just be some big event that happens. I've had this happen many times, and instead of just getting back to it and putting the work in and continuing to do so, I would end up falling off and no longer following what I should be doing. This time needs to be different though. It wasn't those massive issues or that one day that threw me off that was the issue. It was an underlying symptom that I didn't address and I didn't allow for. And that first primary category that I want to discuss with you is mental health. This is the spot that I come to quite frequently now. I've basically taken up recently coming on more and more walks, and I always find myself loving this spot in particular. I think the sound of the closest few things that you can have to like true nature, from the sound of the water flowing, birds chirping away in the distance up in some trees, and having a forest right here. It kind of sums up everything that you would want out of that sort of experience. And I find myself coming here for many reasons. One of them is that I find walking to be an incredibly relaxing experience, I guess is the right way of putting it. And right now I'm in this in-between stage of my life where I'm no longer a kid, but I still feel like a kid at times. But I am an adult, but I don't feel like an adult most of the time. And I've seen plenty of videos discuss this topic, and I'd say a lot of this also comes from the areas of my life where I also feel as if I am pretty much in this in-between stage of my mental health, my physical health, and everything. My life right now consists of trying to combat the mental demons, whether that is depression that I have dealt with many times in my life, or anxiety, something that has built up more and more over time since doing YouTube full time. And because of me dedicating so much time to working on this YouTube channel, not this one, but Exiled, full time for so long, it's caused a lot of stress in my life. And it's not the thing that I truly want to focus on. This is, right here, the thing that I want to focus on. I want to do videos where I talk and I can actually embrace this part of my life, where I feel as if I am a bit calmer. I feel as if I can spend some time and relax. Sitting here recording right now feels so different than it would do if I was sat back at home at the desk, talking into the microphone, having to read off a script. Did I script this video? Yes, I did. However, I use this script very differently. I'm using it in a way that allows me to just go off and riff, but follow a rough outline. And yeah, right now life, it's not going so good. It's going okay, but I would be lying if I said to you that everything was sunshine and rainbows. The small stuff like walks like this or going to the gym are truly what I want to be doing way more of with my time. And it feels so weird to say. I grew up playing games all the time. I've discussed this in videos on the gaming channel. After I got an Xbox 360, most of my life was indoors, and I always found the idea of going outside uncomfortable. Why would you want to go camping? Why would you want to go fishing? Why would you want to go out for walks? What's the point when you've got all these things indoors that are meant to take up your time? I'm 21 now, and I find myself realizing that life is definitely not those things. Life is meant to be exploring and doing way more with your time. For some, if you haven't played games, you might love the world of games to get into, but you don't want to get stuck in it forever and feel as if you have nothing going on for yourself outside of what character you prefer in a specific video game. So yeah, that brings me to right now. What is different? I've chosen that I'm going to start this. A mini kind of vlog, I guess. It is a vlog in which I am just documenting more of my life, trying to find things to do that I actually enjoy, whether it's going on walks, going on bike rides, trying out camping for the first time as I've never done camping, doing fishing, because again, I've never done fishing, and documenting those things. I find myself wanting to do way more activities that I guess I wish I did when I was a kid. But fundamentally, the difference between what I'm doing right here and what I was, and well, I have been and I still will be, but on less of a scale with the gaming channel, is that is work to me. Sitting down at the desk and scripting for hours upon hours, to record for multiple hours in one sitting, where I struggle with my dyslexia, which then kicks off the irritation, that kicks off the anger. It's a stressful experience, and then having to sit there and edit for hours on end. One of the biggest videos I've ever uploaded to my channel, well, the biggest video I uploaded to that channel, was why open worlds are boring now. That video took me 45 hours to make in total. It's an hour-long video, and that thing, for a long time, didn't earn me money right away. It did in the long term, which is absolutely superb, but the point that I'm trying to make is that it's not the thing that I want to be doing now. I want to document more, I want to talk about life and different aspects of it. So yeah, that's where we are today. Now yes, another cup of tea. Now, I wanted to spend some time and talk about one particular topic that I mentioned in a video for an update for Exiled, which is that I've decided to do university. Throughout my life, I've always never enjoyed education for the most part. When I was in school, which now I left when I was 16, I'm 21 now, so 6 years ago, not 6 years ago, terrible maths, 5 years ago, but it would be the case that when I was in education, I absolutely despised most things. There was very few subjects that I actually enjoyed. Most of the ones that I did enjoy, I wasn't particularly amazing in, so I always felt as if I was out of place. However, as I've gotten older, I've definitely found myself enjoying learning way more. And I found most of my learning has either come from doing something practically, or in most cases, teaching myself, whether it's making YouTube videos and learning that way, watching YouTube videos to learn, reading books, listening to podcasts and whatnot, just learning more things. I'm better at, I guess, retention-based knowledge. I don't know if that's the correct term. Pretty much, I'm better at it when, let's say, someone just says something to me and it reminds me of that thing. I end up storing all of the random knowledge to somewhere in the back of my mind that needs to be referenced to for me to go, oh yes, that thing. Now, I've been able to accomplish doing this in other forms, and I've been able to work my way around it. But yeah, basically, because of me not being interested in education that much as a child, through to my dyslexia, I've always felt as if I was out of place and that I shouldn't be doing it. However, I decided to say, screw it, let's actually do it in something that I'm interested in. For myself, I'm interested in money, and I'm interested in helping others when it comes to their financial side of things as well, which is why I wanted to go down the route of accounting. Now, I don't necessarily know what I'll do 100% by the end of the entire thing, if I even go to the end, because I could do my first year and then decide, you know what, this isn't for me, and decide to back out if I wanted to. Yes, it'd be a waste of like $4,000, but at the end of the day, I would have learned something out of it. But for me, it is the case that I want to help people in the long term, either through this channel, through other things later on down the line. And yeah, this is one route to get me there. Now, another big thing for me when it came to this topic in particular is that I've always thought that I would either be having to work some very normal basic job for the rest of my life and trying to scrape by, or that something like YouTube would do insanely well and I would be able to live off of that. Now, obviously, the first one is just depressing. The second one is extremely unlikely. I've become part of like the top percentile of YouTubers technically in terms of I've been able to live and do and make enough money over the last year of my life to survive. However, I'm not stupid. I'm very well aware that that could go pretty easily, and that if for any reason I was to become really popular, most YouTubers only have a lifespan of about 3 years before they start falling off and falling into irrelevancy. So I wanted to do something that at least allowed me to have a backup plan. Something that I was questioning for years, because I always thought that accepting this meant that I was accepting defeat and that I wouldn't get the thing that I've been striving for, as you can't have a backup plan and also be insane and go for something that is completely unordinary. However, let's spend some time talk about my work life, as I have this cup of tea here, and yeah, I need to go upstairs with it. So let's go upstairs and talk about work. I know that when I'm 30, I don't intend to be doing gaming content creation at that age. It's not that I think that it's beneath me or that I don't think that adults should be playing games, quite the opposite. It is just the case that I actually have started to enjoy the hobby that I started the channel to try and get my joy back into, but on top of that, it's just the case that fundamentally, when I think about the things that I truly care about in life and that I believe should be more, focused around like some form of seriousness and actually caring about things to improve, I don't really value games as highly as I do something like this and something like improving the self. And the other big one is that I can actually leave the house more often, which sounds like something that doesn't sound, too hard to do. I can do whatever I want with my time. However, when you're making gaming YouTube videos, you have to spend a lot of time sat at a desk like this, clicking away, typing up scripts, recording, editing videos, trying to make sure everything is perfect for the video release, launch it. And when it's the size of video that I make, it does take at least 2 to 3 weeks to get a video all complete. So yeah, it is the case that it becomes a lot more of a stressor, and it makes it very much harder to feel as if I have a life outside of just creating content. The biggest stressor though when it comes to my work has to come from a financial side of things, which is one of the bigger issues. With something like gaming content, I do like doing it. However, like I said, it's not the thing that I want to be doing in the long term. It's not the thing that I'm truly passionate about, but also in terms of finances, it's one of the worst areas on YouTube to be in. And on top of that, it is the case that fundamentally, when it comes to what I want to do, I know that I can end up making a bit more money in the area that I truly value and I actually enjoy in my life, instead of doing something that I'm holding on to because I feel as if I've sunk so much time into it and so much energy into it that I can't let go, which for anyone wondering is something like the sunk cost fallacy, so check that out if you're interested in learning more about that. Over the time that I've spent dedicated to making my YouTube channel work, especially specifically for Exiled, I ended up neglecting one massive aspect of my life, which was my physical health. It always came in like second or third priority in my life. I was never allowing myself to truly take grasp of it and make it something that was truly important to me. So that means for the first time in a long time, I'm going to be putting my improvement first. And a part of that is improving physically. And that's a big issue for me personally, as I've always struggled with improving myself throughout my life, and I've always struggled with putting my fitness first, specifically since doing YouTube, and it's always been something that's put me off a little bit. However, now it means that I'm going to be focusing on trying to go as often as I can. I'm aiming for 4 days a week, and I'm going to try and have half of those with friends or with my girlfriend, as I always prefer doing the gym with others. I always find myself pushing myself more often, but that's a big issue. I need to focus on pushing myself even when I don't have anyone else around me, which is why I want to have 2 with my friends or my girlfriend and 2 by myself, so that I can push myself fully in the next part of my life and improving myself fully. One of the biggest issues that I've actually found myself within is not having enough time to genuinely sit and relax. Now, what I mean by this is that I might have as much time as I would like to do things. I can choose to have days off if I wish to, but it isn't the case that I truly have days off. Anyone who does content creation full time, does it part time, or even does anything like entrepreneurship, or you work for yourself in any way, you can't just check out at 5 PM. It is the case that you're thinking about work all of the time. You never get time off. You're permanently stressing over the thing that you're doing. That, over the last 2 years for me, has built up worse and worse anxiety, and it's something that has become really hard for me because it's not something that I've ever dealt with before in my life. However, there is genuinely things that I can do that can help me with this. One of the biggest examples that I have is the likes of reading. It allows me to disassociate and just focus on reading entirely. It could be a non-fiction or fiction, it doesn't really matter. Normally I'm a lot more of a non-fiction reader personally, and I love soaking in that knowledge. But other things like meditation or even activities like pottery painting are really good at doing those things. Anything that allows you to just disconnect and focus on one thing at a time truly helps me genuinely relax. Even if the thing is meant to be kind of stressful, for example, let's say you're doing really heavy weights at the gym, that should be putting your body under a form of stress. However, it's a good type of stress. It's not the same sort of stress where your mind is wandering and questioning everything all the time. There is a saying called an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I've heard this in a different way before I actually googled it to see where it came from a Whit Lowry song. And for myself, this is incredibly true. Every single time I find myself in a moment of extreme anxiety or I'm questioning what I am actually doing with my life, it normally has come from a few moments, 5 to 10 minutes, where I'm sat doing absolutely nothing and all the thoughts start to seep in. So for myself, things that actually relax me have nothing to do with just chilling back on a couch like this, watching Netflix, as that will still let these thoughts come by. Unless the show is truly gripping in, let's say like the first load of seasons of Game of Thrones, then I'm all for it. However, when it comes to actually disconnecting for me, I need to be doing something that completely makes my mind and my body have to focus on one thing at a time, and that is truly what I find relaxing. So yeah, that is it really. I want to focus on improving myself in pretty much every domain of my life. Whether that is physical health and becoming better at going to the gym more often, or if it is the likes of reading more and spending more quality time with my girlfriend. Every single aspect of my life is something that I can see where the areas of improvement are. Now, it could be the perfectionist side of me coming in, and I don't mean perfectionist as in I put off things because I'm perfectionistic about it. I have a perfectionist tendency towards how my life should look like and how it should be. There is an element of that that's going to be here. However, I also can acknowledge that I need to improve in many different aspects of my life. That starts with this. So if it is the case that you're interested in joining me on my journey, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to tell me what's happening with you and what you want to actually start improving in your life, let me know down below in the comments down below. Now, I am working on either some form of community and as well a form of product at some point, but the product is something that I don't even want to fully talk about just yet. That's going to be for a good while, as I really want to make sure it is done right and that I can actually achieve the thing that I want to achieve with that exact thing. So if it's the case that you're interested in learning about that in the future, sign up to the Frost Letter. I don't know how many blog posts I will be sending you, so newsletters, make sure to check it out. It'll be down below at frostcoachingacademy.com. But in regards to the free community, I'll be letting you know in the near future about that. So yes, with that all being said, hopefully you did enjoy this video. Let me know how you want to improve yourself. The sun is blaring down on me, which is superb. But yes, I shall see you in the next one. Have a good one.
That kept me alive. I said,